Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of JK's Garage, the first of 2025. On this episode, we are talking my top 15 affordable cool cars that are available in South Africa. Believe it or not, I initially had 50 cars for this list, but I had to narrow it down to 15. So, what is the definition of a cool car? Well, it means a great or good feeling. It's used when someone is happy with something. And that's what a cool car should be, right? Make you feel good, make you feel happy, put a smile on your face every time you drive the car. And when you park it, make you want to turn back and look at it every single time. So let's get into it. So we have the Mercedes-Benz S600, the W140. So the cool factor in this car for me are three things. Number one, luxury is one thing that the S600 is renowned for. At the time, this was the pinnacle of luxury and technology in the automotive world. The latest and greatest was introduced to this S600, making it the vehicle for dignitaries and heads of states. Number two, in recent times, this car is known for something else. See, as most people know, the S600 came with a V12 that produced enough power to whisk off VIPs and quite enough to have a decent conversation of around your next global acquisition. A few years back, someone in Japan decided to change the exhaust on the S600, and the sound it produced reminded you of F1 cars of past. Take a listen to this.
Okay, hold on. All right, here we go.
Number three, the M120 engine is the same used in the Pagani Zonda C12. Imagine owning an S600 and bragging about it having the same engine as a Pagani Zonda. Wow. For these three reasons, I would definitely buy an S600. The M120 engine is a 6-liter V12 making 300 kilowatts and 580 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 was done in 6.6 seconds. Expect to pay between 60 and 100,000 Rand for this. So next on the list, we have the Toyota Corolla RXI. The RXI was an improvement to the previous RSI. The RXI had standard features such as leather interior, airbags, electric windows, and of course a 6th gear, which the RXI didn't have. Power was in the form of a 20-valve 4AGE engine that increased from 115 kilowatts in the RSI to 121 kilowatts in the RXI and made a healthy 157 Newton meters of torque. Like the Honda Civic, VTEC, the RXI also had a high-revving engine with a red line of 8,100 RPM. An affordable compact family sedan with a decent handling and screaming engine made school runs a blast for the driver and big smile on the kids for being dropped off. 0 to 100 was done in 8.5 seconds. Expect to pay around 160 and believe it or not, 390K. Yes, you heard right. I just saw one for 390,000 for an RXI. So the Honda Civic VTEC Coupe. The Honda Civic EK4 introduced South Africans to Honda's VTEC variable valve timing system. Honda SA's flagship Civic featured a 1.6 double overhead cam. It was the B16A6 engine, capable of revving up to nearly 8,500 RPM. That is a lot. Delivering an impressive 118 kilowatts and 160 Newton meters of torque. The B16A engine earned a reputation of being exceptionally reliable, with many hailing it as the most durable performance engines ever produced. The slick 5-speed manual and independent suspension all-round made this a lively car to drive, especially when that VTEC kicked in between 5.5 and 8,400 RPM. Expect to pay between 90 and 120K for this car. 0 to 100 was done in 7.7 seconds. So next on the list, we have the Volvo 850R. Now, the Volvo is a renowned car for safety and not really performance, which makes it a cool reason that it's on this list. What Volvo did was, you can imagine when this was released to the public, the 2.3 liter 5-cylinder engine made 184 kilowatts and 350 Newton meters of torque driving the front wheels. So a sleeper pretty much. A 5-speed manual ensured that you hit 0 to 100 in 6.7 seconds. Not bad at all for a sedan. Expect to pay around between 200 and 250K for this car. So next on the list, we have the BMW E31 850i. Now, my first memory of this car was when I was playing cricket. Someone pulled up with this, and for the majority of the game, I just couldn't help but stare in awe of this car. Looks were absolutely stunning. This car sported a silky smooth 5-liter V12 with a 6-speed manual. This rear-wheel drive BMW was superb. At the time, this was a pricey car competing with the likes of 911s at the time. Unfortunately, due to price, the 850, the cars that the 850 was competing up against, it didn't sell that well. Fortunately, its good looks have stood the test of time, and it still turns heads today. The 5-liter V12 makes 220 kilowatts and 450 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 was done in 7.4 seconds. Next, we have the Audi S3, the first gen, the 8L. Now, the cool factor about this car was it was Audi's first offering into the hot hatch category. And what an intro it was. Packing a 1.8 liter engine, making 165 kilowatts and 218 Newton meters of torque. The S3 was quick, and properly quick, because it had Audi's legendary Quattro system. The Quattro really helped out novice drivers and gave confidence at high speeds. Doing the same high speeds in a front wheel drive or rear wheel drive competitor at the time, you probably would have cucked yourself. 0 to 100 was done in 6.6 seconds. Expect to pay anything between 80 and 110,000. Cut. BMW E70 X5 4.8 IS. In my opinion, the X5 was the first true SUV. That 4.8 liter V8 made a healthy 265 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters of torque. The burble of that V8 just cruising made people's head turn. Factor in comfortable, spacious interior, and you have a good alternative family car. Do the school run with the kids hanging on for dear life, and on the weekends, the wife and dogs doing the same while getting to your destination. 0 to 100 was done in 6.5 seconds. Expect to pay between 250 and 300K. Cut. The Mercedes ML63 W164. This was Mercedes' answer to the BMW X5 4.8 IS. This ML was insane. And that's the cool part about this. A normally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 making a stupid 375 kilowatts and 630 Newton meters of torque. That was supercar levels of power. An exhaust note that would wake up the dead, especially an aftermarket one. A luxury cruiser and brutal on the straights and overtakes. Be careful in the corners though. This is a tall vehicle and physics comes into play here. 0 to 100 was done in 5 seconds dead. Expect to pay anything between 280 and 350K for this vehicle. Mercedes-Benz SLK 55 AMG, specifically the R171. This was an enjoyable and easy to drive car. It looks like a shrunken McLaren SLR, to be honest. This though was a naturally aspirated 5.5 liter V8 that makes 265 kilowatts and 510 Newton meters of torque. A great sounding engine, surprisingly good performance, as previous SLKs were not known for this. Also practical car in terms of space considering the size. The bonus of this car is a folding hard top. perfect for the summer's days in South Africa. 0 to 100 was done in 4.9 seconds. Expect to pay between 250 to 350k for this car. Porsche Boxster S. A lot of people knock this car saying that it's not a true Porsche as it's not a 911. Or you buy this because you can't afford a 911. Yes, it does not have the outright performance of the 911. What you get is a mid-engine sports car that will not kill you close to the limit. That distinct flat six sound, the Boxster S is powered by a 3.2 liter flat six that made 191 kilowatts and 305 Newton meters of torque. The chassis for this car needs a mention. You can throw this car into a corner and have confidence that you can come out the other side still intact. Not many cars inspires this level of confidence. The Boxster is an amazing car to drive. If you are considering one, go for the manual and not the Tiptronic. 0 to 100 is done in 0 to 100 is done in 5.7 seconds. Expect to pay between 200 to 400,000 Rand for this car. Jaguar XJS V12. The Jaguar that replaced the E-Type in 1975 and would remain in production until 1990. Yes, that's quite a run. The XJS is more of a grand tourer than a sports car that it replaced. A sleek design that is still desirable today. Most recently, the car has influenced some people to start resto modding them with amazing results, in my opinion. The Jaguar XJS was powered by a 5.3 liter V12, making 217 kilowatts and 431 Newton meters of torque. That's pretty healthy. 0 to 100 was done in 7 seconds. Prices range from as little, I say as little, as 70,000 up to 130,000 Rand. Subaru 2.5 WRX STI, the bug eye. At the time, the WRX would humble any supercar, making it a hero car for just about everyone, including Gran Turismo players like myself. What made it so good was the all-wheel drive system. The STI has a driver control center differential. Yes, long words. In automatic mode, the car, well, obviously automatically adjusts the front and rear torque split. In manual, it allows the driver to tailor the torque distribution, transferring as much as 60% of the available torque to the rear wheels, thereby altering the car's handling. In the wet, this car was an absolute weapon. Well, actually in the dry as well, this car was unbelievable. The 2.5 liter Boxer 4 makes 221 kilowatts and 407 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 was done in 5.1 seconds. Expect to pay anything from 250 to 350k for this car. Chevy Lumina SS UTE Ute. Throw in a 6 liter V8 in a bakkie and what do you get? Well, not the Hardy dogs that are in the background, but the baddest bakkie in South Africa. No weight over the rear makes the rear brake traction and is very tail happy. That's what makes this car so cool. So you have to have your wits about yourself when the tail breaks traction. It has a great sounding engine and a bakkie that is always happy to go sideways. Oh yes, you also have plenty of space in the back to hold pretty much whatever you need to. Bicycles, dogs, kids, whatever, building supplies. What else more could you ask for? The 5.7 liter V8 makes 270 kilowatts and 530 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 is done in 6.5 seconds. Prices for this are between 190 to, believe it or not, 800k. Yes, 800k. Just seen one for 800k. And if you decide to go for one, definitely go for the manual instead of the automatic. VW Scirocco 2 liter TSI. Wow, just look at it. Absolutely stunning looks. Brilliant car. The car has the underpinnings of a Golf, which you would never guess just by looking at it. It's highly rated for its handling, ride balance, and overall agility. with very little body roll and precise steering. The Scirocco was a dream to drive. Build quality was top-notch, as with any VW in period. Performance was in line with other hot hatches at the time. Bonus was the brilliant DSG gearbox, which pretty much comes standard on most VWs today. And again, thank you, Hardy does. Yes, it might be a Golf underneath, but just look at it. I would definitely rather have this car than Golf at the time. The car made a healthy 147 kilowatts with 218 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 was done in 7.3 seconds. Prices vary from 130 to 300K for this car. Austin Mini Cooper S. The cool factor about this car was the size and nippiness of the vehicle around town. I saw this car a few months ago and I was really surprised as to how small this car looks on the road. I had the pleasure of driving this vehicle many years back, and even back then I was really surprised as to its go-kart handling, which obviously is one of the appeal about this vehicle, its handling. Again, performance-wise, not great, as it's only powered by a 1200 four-cylinder engine. So by today's standards, it's really slow, but handling absolutely fantastic. Factor in the coolness of such a compact size vehicle. You can pretty much get into any parking space that you would like. Brilliant car. The car made a decent 57 kilowatts and 107 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100, like I said, not the fastest, was done in 11 seconds. Expect to pay anything from 120 to around 500. Yes, I've seen one the other day online for $500,000.